Hi, you guys. Welcome to a new episode of Too Much with Shey
and Becca. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? How's life? Because life is whooping me, hands, feet, and toes. Like, boom, 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 boom.
My forces. Well, first, before we even dive into that, I know you can tell I'm in a different background. I don't have a mic. I don't have my little fake bookshelf. What is a real bookshelf? But do I go in that is more for the vibes. I am in Miami for work, and we're trying to make a do, girl. Rebecca's super understanding, and I'm super grateful for her because she has carried this week. I I'm a person, like, I try to do everything, but some things is just like, girl, I think I can, but then I really cannot. So
I'm just
she
going to
has
say, though, I'm not going to lie to y'all. Like, y'all, if I wasn't the type of person I am, I would really feel like the neglected stepchild. Shayla don't care about me at all.
What
She
do
don't.
you mean?
I barely heard from my sis, and I'm like, you know what? She's working, but I'm like, girl, I could be
I
dead in the
barely
street.
had time for, like, me, to be honest. It's been start time literally like 8 a.m. till nighttime. Then you get home, shower. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm like real social, but we've talked about it. I have my social battery, like I need to charge. Okay. So I'm like, I at least need an hour before I go to bed to just do nothing. Because our job is real social. You're always with people and this, like, doing all of this social content, and it's a lot. It's a lot. But shout out to
But I
Rebecca
will
for
say, oh, shout out to you too, my love. I will say it's kind of y'all's fault. Y'all got me spoiled. Like, I just whenever I'm like in need of attention, Shayla be like, boom, 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 she entertained me. It's really your fault.
What you mean?
And because you haven't given me this attention that I've been seeking, I feel neglected.
What
It's your
attention
fault.
have you been seeking? When you've texted me, I responded. All she was talking about, she wanted a keychain from Miami, and I said,
Oh,
I'm not gonna get you a
we
keychain from Miami.
when I tell you this was really almost like the end of Too Much with Shey and Becca because
Girl, stop
Ayla
being
had me
dramatic.
so chopped about a keychain. She talking about something. You've been to Miami. What does that have to
Yes.
do with me wanting a keychain?
Maybe this is like the extra Caribbean in me. Growing up, souvenirs were not a thing. Like, other than, like, I used to just go to Dominican Republic and we'll bring back like food, you know what I mean? Like hojelitas, the cheeses, the sweet treats, whatever. That we would bring from DR. It wasn't until I got around my more American friends that they're like, oh no, when you visit other places, you bring back people a shirt, a this or that. And so the broke people never did no souvenirs. The first time I was able to purchase people souvenirs, I was really in my bag. I'm like, oh my God, I could buy people stuff. Because that's really like when you got money, you could afford to buy people souvenirs. And so I'm like, I'm not buying people souvenirs unless I'm going somewhere like international. Miami, when we went to the cruise for my birthday last year, we came to Miami. I'm not buying nobody keychain. And I hope no one expects nothing from this. This is a work
Okay,
trip. It's not fun, entertainment. It was strictly business.
okay, but if I specifically asked
No.
for a keychain, how you gonna sit there and just be like, no? Because I personally, I'm like, she was like, in my mind, I said, that's great that that's the thought in your mind, but what I asked for got nothing to do with what's in your mind.
Well, one thing about me,
So
I'm blunt. So already before I literally left the airport, I told her, you're not getting a keychain and you're
and
not
that's
getting a
crazy because
keychain.
if you really come back with no keychain, Shayla,
No
I'm
keychain.
telling
I'm
you
telling you,
now,
right? There is no
I'm
keychain. There
I'm
is no
truly hurt.
keychain.
You know what? Let's just get into the weekly rundown because my heart is palpitating now. You really got me chopped. Oh,
So
I
if you
can't
are
believe
new here, we usually kick off all our episodes with a rundown of our week. Um, I feel like we didn't share no love to our new subscribers. If you are a reoccurring viewer, if you just subscribed, thank you guys so very much. And check if you are subscribed, because I feel like a lot of people, you may watch our videos and you think you're subscribed, so just hit pause. Also, I just found out we have this new thing, so I'm gonna just give a quick round of applause for all of our amazing subscribers. Shout out to StreamYard. That's a new feature, girl. So we will be using
how you
that.
found that. Where is that?
Maybe
Oh,
just scroll. We got a drum roll for the new subscribers.
drum roll them.
I don't know why y'all would do that because we will be using that.
Yo, that would have been perfect for when we did the Grammys thing, remember?
Yes, that's so actually iconic. Cute feature, love that dog. But yeah, make sure you're subscribed. We have lots of fun here. We talk about news, life, entertainment. We have a little bit of everything for everybody. But now to the weekly rundown. My week has been crazy. So on Monday was when I came to Miami. And as we're going to discuss in the news segment, the TSA, but at least from the news aspect of it all, has been crazy in certain states. It's been long lines, craziness. So I was already like scared because I'm like, one thing about me, I'm like a timely person. Me and late is like, I'm scared about that. I'm always like on time, early, whatever. So I got to the airport earlier than I needed to be. But Newark airport was smooth. There was no lines, no nothing, none of that. So I was like grateful for that. And then all I've been doing, I thought I packed the cute little bathing suit because I'm like, one day I'll get to go to the beach. That girl overpacked as one. I feel like all girls do that. I overpacked like a gajillion more outfits that I ever needed. And I saw the beach. I'm like, I at least have to see it, but I did not get inside the beach or the pool or none of that. It has been early morning, work, content, work, 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 edit, lots of editing. I don't know how many videos I've edited in these 4 or 5 days, but it's been fun. I've done a lot of like fun social trending things. And also, when you work in the media, being shy is not going to get you far. Like, if you're someone here that is trying to get into the media space, baby, you need to be able to go up to people and get, because we've been doing like a lot of content with fans that are coming to the events. And I'm like, I don't mind be like, hey guys, we need people, like man on the street vibes. But if you're extra shy, yeah, you're not gonna get good content. So if you're trying to get into media, girl, work on being able to speak to people in public, because if not, the success rate is not that high, especially now with this competitive industry. But it's been dope. I'm happy that I was able to come to Miami, but I'm ready to leave. How was your week?
Oh. My week, started off on a sour note because Shayla said she's not getting me a keychain,
Oh
but
my god,
I'm just telling you, like, you're gonna be at the airport, you're going early, you can't pick me up a
I'm not
keychain.
getting a keychain.
That's so crazy to me.
I have
That's
something better.
a man?
Well, no, I'm not
Oh.
shipping. The man don't fit in my carry-on, and the
No,
men
but
that would fit
honestly
in the carry-on, I don't think you would want that man.
no, but honestly, let me be for real. Like my week did start off like on a sour note because, like Shayla mentioned, she left on Monday, and so like something like I woke up right on Monday, like I want to say like around like 6 a.m. and like the first thing I did, went on Instagram, and I saw that a flight like basically like collided with like a fire truck. And
Yeah.
in my head, like because it happened so quickly, like I didn't even look at nothing. I texted Shayla. I said, "It's you not telling me if you landed safely."
Well, I forgot to tell you. So when I woke up, that I saw that news, and then while I was on the plane, they were like, "Oh, there were some reports of smoke from the tower, so we're like Newark is at a standstill." And I'm like, so what does that mean?" Like, obviously, I'm thinking the worst, like what's gonna happen, like, or especially all these bad news. But thankfully, I guess it was like fake smoke. I don't know. But then we were like delayed for an hour. But I'm like, if they have us leave this plane, which obviously I want to just get here, I just want to be alive. So if we got to get off, we got to get off. But I'm like, if we get off, I'm not going to see Miami on Monday.
Yeah, I was like, I texted Shayla because I was like, low key, I'm like panicking in my head because I'm like, I told Shayla I gotta go before her. She can't leave this earth before me. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, how dare she? Shayla, I would really be mad at you. Don't play with me.
How you going to be mad at me and not the people that caused the
Because
accidents?
I'm not a good griever. So why would you even leave me
So
in that
you're
type
going to
of
put it
position?
on me. That's the same way when Rebecca's like, oh, when I find my man, I'm going to hit him. I'm like, girl, you need to embrace the man.
Nah, I gotta punch him dead in his face. Cause why would you leave me out here in the ghetto like this, right? So, yes, Shayla was fine, as you guys can see. She texted me. I was low key snapping. I was just like, for you to think that you can just land and not tell me that you got there safely, you really got me chopped. Like, I was so upset. But our condolences do go out to the people who do end up losing their lives. I was just giving my example of why I started panicking low key. I did end up going out, like I said to y'all. I be trying to stay in the house. Do I really though?
You do not try.
In my head I tried, right? So it was my cousin's birthday, like early birthday celebration. So I went out for my cousin. Y'all, my outfit was and you know it's crazy. So most of my cousins, like, you know, they're skinnier and like, you know, more like hourglassy and everything like that. And like, you know me, I'm curvilicious, defilicious. And I think it's so funny how like most of my cousins who are on the smaller side, how like they dress versus like me on the thicker side, how I dress. Like if y'all saw my outfit on Saturday, follow me on Instagram if you don't. Pictures will be posted real soon. It was giving tit. I was like, wow, I planned that outfit in 2 seconds. I didn't even know I was gonna wear it. I put on a skirt, I put on a blazer, I put on this white top, my white fur boots, legs was out, thighs was greased. It was just giving right, scrumdiddly yum yum. Right. And so all that to say, you know, getting cute, going out, it really does something for your mental health sometimes. Like, you know, I was just like, I'm not in the mood. I've been trying to battle a sickness literally the whole month of March. Like every morning I wake up and my throat is like tickling and I'm like,
Can I say to that point, same. If you watched last week's episode, I was like, the devil was really trying to take me down because I got my period and I'm trying to get sick. Something's going on with the throats, honey. Because it is like, I feel a little bit better, but I'm still like right here.
and you know
The
what's
tea's not
crazy?
helping. Like, it's just like, what is going on with the throats in 2026 is worldwide.
No, honestly,
Don't think no, because I know some of y'all is thinking bad. Got nothing to do with that throat. Is the throat like is you know what I mean? What's going on?
no, honestly, and I saw this one post. It was like $3 billion. No, $3 million right now. But you have to have a sore throat for the rest of your life. Everybody in the comments said this the one time money might not be picked. I said no, honestly.
It is so uncomfortable. Like every swallow, like you feel that. God forbid you got too much saliva. It's like, damn, I gotta swallow. It's so
No,
bad.
honestly, there was one time I had such a bad sore throat. I refused to swallow my spit. I just spit it out. I refused. I said, I can't do it. I'm like, all money ain't good money. And that day, if that option was presented, oh baby, I'm not taking that money. The last thing I wanted to, well, the last two things I wanted to talk about. I am slowly turning into my mother. Like I used to judge my mom for so many things. And then as I'm getting older, I'm realizing I'm doing it. Like I went to CVS the other day to pick up some medicine. And if you ever been to CVS, you know, they give you this laundry list of a receipt, right? And so I tried, like, since I picked up my medicine, I was like, I actually, because remember I told y'all my throat been act up. So I'm like, I need some cough drops. I was like, if I buy some cough drops, like, would I be able to purchase it here? She's like, if you have purchased it with the medicine, yes. But now that you already did your medicine purchase, you got to go to the front. I'm like, okay. She's like, oh, make sure you look at your receipt to see if you got any coupons. Now, mind you, whenever I get my CVS receipt, I don't be looking at that thing. I just crumple it up and throw it out. So something told me to look. So I'm like, oh, it said $4 off. And so then I go to the, you know, the cough drops. I see the little bag was like four something, but the bigger bag was literally $7. I'm like, so if I buy this, get my $4 off, it's gonna be the price of the small bag, but for the big one, baby. That coupon was real nice. I scanned, I said, wow. I'm like, you know, the way the economy is going right now, I didn't expect to see no
She
luxuries.
said, put me on the coupon show, honey.
Shayla, I got a coupon for you. I get $5 off. Like I think you gotta spend $25 on curly hair products. I got that coupon for you, my sis.
Period.
Got
I'm
it
like,
for you.
let me check if CVS got Uncle Funky's daughter.
Yeah, I'm just telling you right now. I mean, CVS is type expensive. The one product might be $25.
That's another thing. CVS is like, but when you really do the math on it, for the original price, it's like you could just go to the store and get it. But I don't know.
No,
Maybe.
literally. But I'm like, dag, I used to clock my mom and be like, oh, you always want coupons. You always want to do this, girl. I get
But
it.
I don't I like when they print it out because digital coupons that takes too like I love me some ShopRite. I'm a ShopRite girl. So they used to print out the coupons when you were shopping, but now it's like download the app and digital coupons. So now it's like I'm really not sitting down and scrolling through to check every item that I'm about to buy. Honestly, I buy off of vibes. So I go through every aisle and I'm like, okay, I need this, I need this. I'm not like going through the app to see what of the things that I need have a coupon in the app. That's too much for me.
And honestly, sometimes with the digital coupons, that's when your phone don't want to work when you need to bring it up. So you be at the front.
Embarrassed, like, oh, never mind, never mind. Like, I feel too
Sorry.
much
Literally.
overstimulated.
But that's one thing I will say about Apple. I like that they have the feature that you could add anything to your wallet. So like now, like even I have an Amazon return. I know, you know me with a return sometimes.
Oh, that
Okay.
go together bad.
Locked in, ain't no switching up. Okay. So like they were like, oh, add the return to your wallet. I said, absolutely I will. Like, what? Y'all gave me nothing but a choice. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about, it really takes a little like one little thing to really turn me off completely. Like, and once I am turned off, there is no turning me on. Like, I'm talking about light bill not paid, completely shut off, the breaker broken.
Yeah,
Like,
what was it today? To be fair though, Rebecca be always on something.
no,
But go
I'm just
ahead.
thinking back to when our travels to the crab shack, if you get where I'm trying to
Oh, the
get.
comedy.
Yeah.
You love
And
comedy.
and ever since that day, I've just been turned off complete. And it's like I'm the type of person when I'm turned off, when you speak to me, my face will automatically always be like nothing you say, nothing you do is gonna bring me back onto you. And it's just, how are y'all like this? Oh, and
But
so most
you didn't even say what turned you off to the people. They like confused. Yeah,
um
you started a point and never landed on nothing.
you know when you just see a certain personality trait and it's just like, wow. Like, I don't know. I've never actually, y'all, we're not gonna get too much into it because said person watches the
The
podcast.
people are like, but you brought this up. Girl, don't
Because
even
I
mind her.
just wanted to bring,
That's why I said Rebecca just be saying, like,
no,
don't
because
even.
it really, I'm really turned off in the hardest way possible. But so majority of my cousins are married. So whenever we go out, I think it's just so interesting to see the dynamic of like my cousins who are all married or like in a long-term relationships and me, the cousin who's chronically single, right? So I just think it's so funny because like they'll ask me for my dating chronicles and I will tell them. And the thing is like it'll be funny in that moment and like I'll explain how I was annoyed, but then you know when you re-explain a story to somebody and you just get double annoyed because you see the reactions and everybody's like co-signing how you felt.
I think it's like funny, sad crying. Like it's funny, but it's like crying. You know what I mean? Like the dating scene, and I know we've said this several times, but like if you're around our age, it is bad. It doesn't matter. Like people are like, oh well, if you're in New York, girl, I work in New York. Rebecca and I are close to New York. Like it doesn't I don't it's not a state thing, it's a worldwide. The disparity, I don't know if I'm using the right word, but the
Disparity.
disparity between qualify it's not even a qualification because I don't even want us to say, but like
It's just
women
the
that are just
quality.
have like their degrees, like, and not even it's not even about college education, but just like you have your life together, you have a job, a car, like you're able to pay your bills versus the men ratio that have the same things. Is just I don't know what went wrong, but somehow we have 80% qualified women and maybe 30% men. And so I don't know. Or there's the ones that claim that, oh yeah, I'm this. You ain't never met no one like me. Ta, 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 ta. I could show you better than I could. Just all of these things that is just so yuck. Shut
Let me
up.
tell you, Shayla, to go on to that point, I hate, And like I'm talking specifically about like a man in this aspect. I hate when some men tell me I could show you better than I could tell you. First off, you ain't told me nothing and you ain't showed up to nothing. So the point is non-existent. Like it's like, why would you even tell me that? You said nothing, you showed me nothing, and you in my face talking about nothing. So now what are you? Nothing. Get out my face. Like I
Yeah,
just
and the thing is like we're talking about bare minimum things. If you say you're gonna do something, you do it. Hold a conversation. Like Rebecca and I are big talkers. Obviously, we have a podcast and we have big personalities, hence the podcast name Too Much. And like, I don't know. I'm just asking for a healthy medium. Like, be able to have banter with me back and forth. I have a slick mouth. I will drag you, but not like in a kind way, like fun,
and I think
like
it's so funny because
personality. I don't
no,
know.
honestly, for real, have a personality, have a sense of humor, like be something, like do something, right? And this is gonna be my last thing because I keep bringing it back to the part when I was hanging out with my cousins. And it was so funny because they kept accusing me of flirting, but y'all know I got a slick mouth, right? And like I'm naturally a flirtatious person because people automatically assume like the laughs, like me talking back. And like, I like to do lingering eye contact, but it's just because like, that's just a part of the dynamics with me. And so because I do that, my cousins kept saying that me and the person who was waiting, like our waiter at the restaurant, they were like, "Oh, y'all would be so cute together. Y'all would do this." Because he was giving me responses right back. Because like I asked him a recommendation for a drink, and I was like, "What drink do you recommend?" He was like, "The guava margarita." I was like, "Oh, like I've never had guava." No, I said, "Oh, what's guava taste like?" This man looked at me dead in my face. Guava. I said, so I ain't never had guava. So I'm gonna need an example. It was just so funny. And also it was like a Mexican restaurant, but they're like a tequila house. So I asked them if they had Hennessy. He told me they ran out. I said, "How y'all a tequila house and ran out of the Hennessy? Clearly your tequila not that great." Like,
She
like
said, "You should take that as a hint."
and so then, me, I'm a talker. So then I kept seeing this one guy walk by and he was like I guess the manager or like whatever. And so I said hi to him and he pulled up a chair. He sat down talking to us. And I said to him, I was like, y'all ran out of Hennessy and that's crazy. And he was just like, you came to a tequila house, right? I said, okay, you could go to the gym and step into a sauna and not be at the spa. Like, what are we talking about? It was just funny.
Girl, the people are like, "This why we not gonna invite you nowhere." But we are. I can never forget when we went to that steakhouse. That was actually that takes me back to that. We were literally everybody was there on the cute little day, Valentine's Day, and we were just screaming and hollering. Not really, but like to us, regular talk is screaming and hollering.
Nah,
Anyways,
Shayla had me kikiing.
girl, they really had me out there looking crazy at the steakhouse. They used to fake people. Anyways, watch that episode if y'all want that rundown of Rebecca and I going to a bougie steakhouse for the first time. Valentine's Day show. Go watch that. Well, episode, not show. So now we're gonna move over to our news portion. Don't run, don't be scared. News is it's okay to know what's happening in the world. But if you don't want to, we don't pressure y'all. Just fast forward to our social and sports corner. Okay. So for today, the first news topic, I mentioned a little bit in the my weekly rundown, TSA debacle. Okay, we've all seen the news on TV, or I guess you can watch news on the phone, wherever you watch your news. The long TSA lines everywhere, especially in states like Atlanta. I've seen like ridiculous long wait times. And the thing with that is like I be feeling like people be gassing it a little bit. I don't know if they're trying to do it for the social things, but I don't know. I'm not in Atlanta, so for certain states it is true lines are long. But when I was traveling to Miami on Monday, I went to Newark, New Jersey airport thinking like the lines are about to be so long, so long. But it was like super quick. Everything was great. But if you're wondering like why are these TSA lines so long, it is because these people have not been getting paid and they're like, well, bills still got to get paid, so they're not showing up to work to go work somewhere where they will get paid to pay their bills. So I'm not even mad. I'm like, I get it. You can't tell your landlord like, "Oh, I can't pay my rent this month because I didn't get my check." You can't call PSC&G and be like, "Hey, Bookie, I can't pay you this month because the bill's not coming." Like, I'm not getting a check. So I understand that. But good news, a little bit of good news is that after 42 days of fighting in Capitol Hill, this is why I say like politics matter. Whether you don't want to know what's going on, everything always goes back to politics, right? So Congress has been fighting to pass a bill to fund the Department of Homeland Security, which TSA is a part of, in order for these TSA agents to get paid. Um, so after 42 days of Congress people fighting on Capitol Hill. The Senate passed early Friday today a bill to fund most of the Department of Homeland Security, which TSA falls under that department. It is the first but major step in ending the shutdown. Now the House will have to approve the bill, which could happen as soon as today, right? Because when Congress wants to work, it can operate quickly, right? And so once the House passes it, then Trump has said that he may approve it if it has everything that he wants in the legislation, in the bill, whatever you want to call it. So the legislation passed by unanimous consent in the Senate and will fund DHS through the end of the year, the fiscal year, except for immigration and customs enforcement and border patrol operations. If you know, this is something that Republicans really want to fund, so I'm sure that will end up in a whole other battle. But this is why it has taken so long for the funding bill to go through, because Republicans are like, well, no, we want to include funding for the immigration and custom, the ICE agents, right? Republicans want more ICE funding, and Democrats are like, well, if you include that, then we're not going to vote for the bill. Regardless, I think the gag of all of this is like, as people are not getting paid, these Congress members' check is still secured. And I think if y'all not working, or if you're working and other people are suffering, you should also not be receiving a check. Because I promise you, they will move swifter if they weren't receiving checks.
I think like when I saw everything that's been happening with TSA, like when I remember when the shutdown happened and we found out that TSA was going to be impacted, and then we came with like this short time agreement, and like we were technically out of the shutdown because like I wasn't that much read upon like the whole situation. When I found out that things were still happening with TSA, I was confused. So then when I started looking into it and I found out about the funding and DHS and everything like that, I was just like, this is going to end real badly, right? Because as you know, we're as a society, we're all trying to get away or we're trying to visit family. Flights have to
Spring
happen.
break. I feel like spring break is happening now, around the corner, close
Yeah,
by.
right. Facts. So I'm just like, I just didn't understand. And then once I saw that apparently Trump was deploying ICE agents to go, take the place of like certain TSA agents, I'm like, listen, I don't know the training of the TSA and I don't know the training of ICE agents, but are their training like interchangeable? Like I'm like one is supposed to go through, make sure that everything's going smoothly and cohesively and everything on the front at the airport. And ICE agents are the ones saying that they're going to be deporting people back who are here illegally. Like I'm like, how are y'all skill sets interchangeable? Like
And the thing is like, okay, yes, maybe their skills are interchangeable, but you can't just like from one day to the next just throw people in there. Like they don't know the protocols, they don't know how things operate, like what you need to like, huh? And also, you can't replace another thing. The main issue here is that these people are not getting paid. So it's like putting a band-aid. You can't, like, the bruise is still there, honey. The people not getting paid. That's what we need to focus on.
Exactly. And I think another thing that I want to touch on, when we found out that ICE agents were going to be, stepping in place for most TSA places and stuff, well, TSA positions, I saw there's this she looked to me like a black woman. She could be of a different nationality, ethnicity, I don't know, but to me that looks like a black woman when I saw her. And the way I saw her face plastered everywhere, to me, when I saw that, like I was just like, they knew who to
Plastered
put.
where?
like people just kept like resharing her photo, like, well, of the ICE agents, but her photo, like her walking around in the airport and stuff like that. Like I saw a lot of people reposting it and like commenting and everything like that. And to me, when I saw that, I said they knew exactly who to put there. Like they weren't just putting, oh, like we're gonna put like I'm saying basically like a white ICE agent in place here. But like the fact that I kept seeing people reposting her face, and I'm not trying to say, oh my gosh, like she chose that job. Like it is what it is. I don't feel like if you are ICE agent, if you're not doing nothing bad, you shouldn't be covering your face at all. But it's just to me, it's like who they decide to choose as the focal points and who they had as ICE agents that were like being depicted. That's where I was like looking, I'm like, we are just going downhill.
Well, because they already know they're getting backlash, right? So it's like, oh, well, if we put a person of color there, then like they're not gonna be targeted, or like no one's gonna be like, oh, they're doing it to just rage bait, or the topics. They already know that ICE is a very like, we got to tread lightly because of all the craziness that we have covered on the podcast. But anyways, fingers crossed, pray for me that I get back home to Jersey quickly and safely because I leave today. The next topic I want to talk about is, we talked Iran war. We were like, girl, why are you getting involved? But the moral of the story is we are already involved, and every day is something new with that. So on the note of something new every day, the Pentagon is weighing whether to send 10,000 more combat troops to the Middle East. The White House and the Pentagon are considering sending at least 10,000 additional combat troops to the Middle East in the coming days, according to a senior U.S. defense official. This is from Axios. Um, why does that matter? So, if the Trump administration decides to send extra troops, it will significantly increase the number of combat soldiers the U.S. has in the region. It is another signal that a U.S. ground operation in Iran is being seriously considered. They're preparing for that. Um, I still feel the same way like I felt the first day we discussed about this. The U.S. has no business starting a ground operation nowhere. Like I remember when Trump was on the trail, he was like, we're gonna end all the wars, all about this ending wars. And it's like every other day we're becoming enemies of a new country. The math not mathin'.
I think for me, I feel like we say this a lot, like, oh, always tell people like make sure your home front is like completely okay before you do it. I feel like everything like America is very far from being copacetic right now. I don't see why, and I know there's gonna be someone who's gonna end up calling Shayla and I dumb for not understanding why we're doing this, why America's involved, why we don't understand how important, protecting ourselves from other countries with nuclear weapons is. I understand what y'all gonna say. I'm saying I understand that y'all are gonna say that. Not saying I understand your point of view, but again, we're America. We're supposed to all have differences of opinion, I
To
guess,
each
right?
their own.
Right. Scream to the rooftops, hoop, holler, do whatever you want to do. But to me, it's just like America is far from copacetic. We are far from a cohesive home front. And so the fact that we're about to go get ourselves involved in other foreign international issues is like, to me, it's like, what was the reason?
What is the reason?
Like I don't get it. And like Shayla always tells me, we have to be informed about politics. But this is where like I come into play where I'm like, I just hate even thinking about it because it's just like, and it's like, unfortunately, we have to think about it. We have to talk about it because this is going to end up impacting us. I mean, look at gas prices right now. I paid $40 to fill up my tank the other day. That's up $2 from the
Mind
last time I
you,
complained to y'all.
and if you remember, when Biden was still president, the right side was so triggered about gas prices, and rightfully so. But it's like, remember these moments, right? Gas prices are up. We still cannot afford to buy houses. Grocery prices are still high. So remember all of these points, because it's the same reason, yeah, we're dragging Biden left and right, because you guys claim that once Trump was in office, all of that was going to change. And I am still waiting for the change to occur. If anything, now we added a new war. So,
And I'm also waiting for my stimulus check. What happened? He said I was gonna get that. What happened?
child, it may be on the way, sis. It's stuck.
Girl, that extra 2,000 will look a little nice right now. Not gonna lie to you.
Which Democrats fought for. Trump did not. Trump and the right wing said no. If we give these people checks, they're not gonna want to work. And Democrats fought for it. And at the end of the day, Trump was like, you know what? Before y'all send that, add my name there. Meanwhile, they didn't even want to send the checks. But don't get me started with that front.
Right. But let us get into our
Right.
social corner.
Social corner.
Yes, welcome to our social corner where we're going to talk about some of the things that we've seen trending on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, boom, bomb, bomb. We see it, we're going to want to talk about it, okay? And the first thing I want to talk about is something that really got me chopped hotter than the sun on a June day, okay?
And chicken grease.
Okay, and I'm talking about fresh oil hotter. Like, I'm sick. So Netflix is increasing their prices again. Okay. So Netflix is raising its US subscription prices again as of March 26, 2026, marking its second increase in under 2 years. So I just wanted to give you guys a little breakdown of what's changing. So the ad supported plan now will be $8.99 per month. That's up $1. The standard no ads will now be $19.99 per month, going up by $2. Premium now will be $26.99 per month. That went up by $2 as well. And the extra member slots, which without ads, well, with ads is $6.99 and without ads is $9.99. So new subscribers will pay a higher price immediately, while current users will see increases in the coming months. The company says that the hike supports more investment in content and service improvements. The move comes after growing competition from other major streaming platforms, right? Now, for me, as Shayla and I have discussed on this podcast before, I am the one who has the Netflix account, and Shayla, when she's able to dip
Right. When I can get in there, child.
she uses it. And me, I'm not like really a TV watcher anymore. Like the main thing I watch is like sports, like, and that's if anything. And I just feel
Mhm.
like because like I work in the media space and I'm seeing TV every day, like I don't want to watch anything. I don't really have an interest in nothing because my brain is always in work mode, which isn't healthy, but it is what it is. That's my truth. So it's like the main reason why I pay for Netflix, honestly, is because like my sister uses it and like obviously Shayla uses it too. But like that's the main reason why I'll put on Netflix. And I just feel like I understand moving with the times, and as the economy increases, things are going to increase. I just feel like Netflix is like doing all this extra stuff. And I'm like, and I just feel like I'm not seeing that much of a difference every year for there to be an increase. Like, yeah, y'all added a football game, but I never associated Netflix with sports. So, like, to me, it's just like y'all doing that move. I never asked for that. Y'all adding podcasts onto Netflix, never asked for that. Like, I just feel like you just adding a bunch of random stuff, but I'm still looking for the whole beginning seasons of NCIS. Like, why y'all not getting that on there? This is supposed to be a platform for me to watch TV and movies, and I'm not even getting half the stuff that I want.
Well, that's like when you're in school and it's like one person does something wrong and we all got to pay for it. And so whether that's fine if you don't want to watch the podcast, the breakfast clubs, the WWE shows that they have airing there, but all of that costs money and somebody's gonna have to pay for it. So whether you should start watching it because you're paying for it. So join the WWE fan base, grab a podcast if it's not the Breakfast Club because
No,
you're
literally, I'm
paying
like,
for
I'm
it.
about to start having to use I'm gonna have to start watching my money for real. Like, my money is worth. The other day, I started watching this one military movie because I was eating.
Military movie is crazy.
It's like a war movie. Y'all know I like to watch, like, I
I
don't
didn't
know.
know you like to watch war movies.
Yeah, girl, one of my favorite movies is Troy. Yeah, well, that's more
I don't know
mythology.
her.
Achilles, Brad Pitt. Got
Negative.
it. Got it.
I
Got
know
it.
Troy Bolton from High School Musical.
Anyway, the next thing we're gonna talk about, Shayla, you want to go?
Sure. So Our next social topic, Miss Tina Knowles. What is gumbo? Let's start there. I don't even know what that is.
That's a great question. It's not really in our, like, I think it's a soup with rice and shrimp and gumbo is a Louisiana stew, often described as soup that features rich stock, meat, or seafood, and a thickener like a dark roux, okra, some type of powder flavored with the holy trinity of onions, celery, and bell peppers, and traditionally
Mm.
served over rice. So basically, it's like sancocho.
I don't know. It's not get when I saw a photo, it
It's
doesn't give
basically
sancocho.
soup. It's like a soup, like a thick soup.
Okay, but for if you're visual like me, think of sancocho, but it's really not sancocho. So anyways, Miss Tina Knowles, if you don't know Tina Knowles, that's Beyonce's mother. Mama Tina's she had a pop-up. I don't even know that she was known for cooking, or maybe this was just like for business purposes.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't know that either until I saw it like trending and like I looked into it and I was like, oh, okay.
And before we even get into that, I'm like, I love Beyonce, so anything that's associated to her, love it down. But it's like I'm thinking like when it comes to creating businesses, I think it's important to do things that align with you and your brand. I'm not saying step out because maybe she does love to cook and that's her thing and we just never knew about it because, they're pretty private. They only show what they want to show. But in my brain, I'm not like, oh, her mom opened up a restaurant, like I gotta go. Never connected the two. But anyways, neither here nor there.
It would basically mainly be the name attachment. Like, oh my God, Beyonce's mom did something. I gotta
Right,
go there.
like, if Teenie, she's the one that, like, uploads TikTok videos, like, with recipes and stuff. If she has a pop-up of anything, I would definitely be more aligned because, like, that's her brand, like, she's known for that. But anyways, Mama Tina's Gumbo, a pop-up ran by Tina Knowles, was temporarily shut down on March 16th, at the Houston Rodeo after a customer reported severe illness, including vomiting, blood, nausea, and fever. Health inspectors found major violations, including improperly stored seafood, use of non food grade containers, lack of temperature tracking, and cooking the gumbo at an unapproved offsite location. The food was also improperly cooled, transported, and reheated before being served. This sounds like a whole lot of. Um, I don't know if this is allegations or if it was real life. Like they confirmed that all of this was happening. Because if so, that's crazy. After working with the health department and correcting the issues, such as improving storage practices and stopping offsite preparation, the stand passed a follow up inspection. Okay, so this is like real. They found all of these craziness and reopened the next day. The incident quickly gained attention online, sparking backlash on social media.
As y'all can tell who picked that topic to talk about, because Shayla's like, is this real? Girl, guys, I
Well,
didn't
I
believe
just feel like you're such a big name. Like how in the world, like you have way too much money to for all of these red flags.
and
You
that
got to leave
is
that to the up and coming startup. I'm just trying to make it out. People, you're
and
Miss
that's the
Tina.
main point that I wanted to talk about. It's like we all know Miss Tina Knowles for, creating basically helping create Beyonce to what she is today. Like we understand how important she is to how important she was to Destiny's Child and like the longevity of Beyonce's career, everything like that. And so to me, when I saw this, the first thing I said to myself is like, when you are such a big name, there should be certain things that are not associated to your name in terms of negative publicity, right? And so, like, yes, people could automatically be like, oh, her recipes are not good, like I don't like it, things like that. Like those are things you can't control. Like if people don't like how you cook that, like, taste buds are very personal. Everybody got a different way with their taste buds. But when it comes to things like business operations, there should be certain things that should not be associated to your name because again, you are Beyonce. I said Beyonce. You are Tina Knowles. Like there's certain things that should not be associated. Why do I hear about improper storage? Why am I hearing about something wrong with transportation, the cooling of seafood, like this, that, and the third? Like those are things that should not be associated to your name because you have the platform to get the people who make sure that those things should not be associated to you.
Yeah, and also it's like not every business venture is a yes. Like if you know you are not passionate about this, because sometimes like, okay, yeah, like they, when you're such a big celebrity, people are gonna come to you with projects left, right, middle, center, right? It's up to you to agree to them. So if someone came up to you and was like, okay, we have this idea for a pop-up food truck, and you know you don't care about it, don't say yes, because now it's gonna like, not all good money is good money, because now it's like, okay, yeah, you secured a bag, but now your name is being dragged. You know what I mean? And there's the fact that these things are things that you could have controlled. Obviously, it's a whole team behind it. Like, she's not operating the food truck by herself. We understand that. But guess what? You're the name behind it. You're the one that got the big bucks. So people are going to always track down things to you. So I know whoever was, that's Mama's Tina's gumbo little food truck vibe. So I know whoever was actually in charge of operations. I know Miss Tina had a real hefty talk with them, because it's like, now I'm being dragged because of you. But also just like when you're a business owner, like sometimes you got to get down and dirty and see how things are operating, because you know everything is going to go back to you. Control what you can't control. The fact that there was a lot of things here that you could have controlled. Like Rebecca said, people not liking how it tastes, you can't control that. But making sure things are stored right, you could have, or whoever was in charge of that, because maybe she didn't know. I don't know.
But I think also that's where I think, like, to your point, like people are going to reach out to you for, and again, we don't know how this business venture even came about. We don't know if this was truly a passion of hers or somebody brought it up to her. Like, we don't know how that came to be, but we know it's here, right? So it's just like, when you already are that the face of something, if your name is going to be tied to something, like if Shayla and I were to start a food truck today, the people who are running our food truck would hate us because I have questions every single day.
I wouldn't
Shayla,
even put myself into that. That's
but
too
Shayla,
much.
like, let's say if we did, Shayla would be on 20,000 trying to,
Yeah.
okay, where, how are we doing this? Are we transporting this? Are we doing that? How are we doing?
Hmm.
I'm going to make sure if something's going to be tied to me, I'm gonna make sure that it's the best of my everything that I can control. Again, life happens. So there's certain things that you can't control. But if it's something that I potentially can control and something I can make sure that I'm gonna be in touch with the health department myself. Hey, question, we're starting a pop-up. Can you just give me the rules, the regulations? Like, I never done this before. Like, I'm going to make sure that and mind you, that's us, little us. Tina knows you've been in the business for how long? There should be no reason why your face is attached to anything like this, and the health department is coming to your business, shutting it down for a day. That's embarrassing. Also, what do you mean the person talking about they was throwing up blood?
Or also is like, you put your faith, like that's why who you hire matters, because at the end of the day, one person can't be everywhere all at once. I want to be everywhere all at once, but you can't. So that's why like making sure that you put people in the right places matters, because everything is going to lead back to you. No one's talking about how the operations person, because I know Miss Tina was not the one managing all of that. She wasn't. But now she has to swallow it and be like, do 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 do, and show face for it all. But I know they were fired, whoever
Oh,
was in charge of making
girl.
sure things are running right.
If Beyonce fired the dude who did the lights and the fans the one day when she was performing on stage, I know they fired whoever did this. Like, you
Yeah.
gotta go, my love.
They're probably banned for forever in the life. Sorry,
Oh,
Wiki.
name blackballed at this point, right?
Hmm.
So the next thing we are going to talk about that I had saw trending on social media was Young Miami, and she recently started in an interview she did with Charlemagne the God. They talked about Diddy, right? So, and they all obviously talked about other things, but this was one of the portions of the interview that kind of sparked a lot of conversation amongst people, right? So Young Miami said that Diddy treated her well and seemed like a changed man during their relationship, which was from 2021 to 2023, which led her to write a character letter in support of him during his legal troubles. She emphasized that she can only speak on her personal experience and cannot comment on the sexual assault allegations made by others. She acknowledged that her loyalty came at a cost, revealing that she lost business deals, money, and personal relationships because of her association with him. Despite the backlash, she says she doesn't regret standing by someone who supported and uplifted her, though the situation has made her move more guarded and about trust. Right. So Young Miami also clarified that they are no longer together, but remain on good terms, and she dismissed rumors that she was financially compensated during their relationship. Meanwhile, if you remember, Diddy was convicted on charges related to transporting individuals for prostitution and is serving a 50-month prison sentence, which with a reported release date in April 2028, right? So I just wanted to play the clip for you guys so that you guys can hear what she was basically saying.
When, you were connected to becomes the center of serious allegations and legal issues, how do you reconcile the person you knew with the headlines everybody else sees?
I think in life you always get put in something or a situation where you gotta make a life decision, and you gotta look back and say, like, what makes sense for me right now. Like, I can love this person, but I can love this person from a distance, or I can have a relationship with this person, but maybe I gotta come back to it. Like, maybe I gotta come back around. And I think that was one of those situations.
You wrote a letter vouching for Diddy's character. And a lot of people were upset because they was like, how could she do that after seeing the video with Cassie? A lot of people wanted to know why you decided to still write that letter.
I think I wrote a letter for a change, man. I think that the man that I met and that I experienced would change. I'm not going to justify some bullshit or like support some if I felt like that person was a change. And I felt like the person that I met was changed. It was a different experience. So that's why I wrote the letter.
Do you think you owed your fans an explanation? Or do you feel like your personal relationships are nobody's business but your own?
I feel like both. I feel like as people that's supporting you, that's buying into you and that love you, you have to give them some type of, they gotta be able to connect with you. So I can't just be like, fuck y'all, this is my personal life, I don't owe y'all shit. It's half of me that do feel like they were, at the end of the day, being a real person, I feel like that door is open to them.
How do you reconcile supporting someone publicly when the court of public opinion is saying something completely different?
Because if I meet you today, or if my time that I experience with you is one way, I can only judge that person that way. So it's just like, I can't speak to nothing that I don't know of. I can only speak to the person that I met. And if I met this person that changed my life, that helped me grow, that treated me like a queen, that made me believe in myself, it's like, that's what I know. And I feel like people can have opinions, but I can only judge a person off of what I know and what I experienced. Like, I can't speak on nothing that I never was a part of, that I never knew. Like, I can only judge who I met. I can only judge who I was in a relationship with.
Were you afraid that they might call you to testify?
No. I never hid nothing. I don't have nothing to hide.
You seem like a very loyal person.
I am.
At what point does loyalty become a liability?
That's a good question, Charlamagne.
We got time. We can just sit here and tell you. Yeah.
I mean...
Meaning, because you might be with somebody and at some point you realize just you even being loyal to this person to a fault, at some point you might have to cut them off because they might start bringing you down.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, but also I just feel like if a person, let's just say for instance, right, I'm going to just use this as a scenario. Imagine a person help you become a better version of yourself, or help you believe in yourself, or help you just experience new things, or just introduce you to new things that you was able to take and, keep creating for your family, or it's still a positive for you. It's kind of hard to say, fuck you, you going through this shit, I don't give a fuck, like, I gotta just fuck you. It's hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very hard, because it's like, I don't want to kick somebody while they down, and I don't want to just say, fuck you, you going through that shit, you got to figure it out, because you my friend. I have a relationship with you. I have a personal relationship with you. Like, I know you. It's like family. Like, we like locked in. So it's like, that's a hard situation. And it's just like, I cannot just turn my back on somebody like that easy. Like, that mean it was never no love there. Whatever I did for you, it meant nothing. It just, that would be a fake person to me.
So, as you can see, I know it was like a lengthy interview, but a lengthy video that we showed, but I just wanted y'all to get a context of everything. So when we do discuss, nobody's just like, oh my God, like that's not even what she said. Y'all heard it. Y'all saw it. Shayla, what's your thoughts? You're muted, my love.
No, that was like for dramatic effects. I'm like, I mean, I can't tell anyone how to feel, but the facts are there, the proof is there. If she feels like she got the changed version of him, then okay, that's your truth. I still think what we saw in court, all the videos, all the people, the documentary, whether you want to pick and choose how you feel about it, there were several people in the documentary that expressed and shared how their experience with Diddy was different. So, hey, if she felt like she wants to ride with him and that wasn't her truth, then she can't create a reality that wasn't hers, right? But in that same breath, you can see all the stuff that we saw and be like, no, that's not okay. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's the way it came off really gave, like, I don't care about none of that other stuff. He was good to me, and that's all I care about. That's not how I operate. I'm very much like community. I'm not saying drag him while he's down. I don't think if you love somebody, you should not do that. But like, you ain't have to write a character letter. You know what I mean? But I'm indifferent. I'm like, okay, girl, that's your truth.
So for me, when I saw this, I was like thinking, I'm like, two things could be true at the same time, right? So it's just like, yes, he could have been a changed person with you, but that does not negate what he's did in the past, right? So it's just like, if you wrote that character letter to talk about everything that he did for you, to me it's just like, okay, cool, calm, collected, I guess. But it's just like to say like, oh, I'm loyal, like I don't want to like hit a man while he's already down. It's just like, no, he's not down. He's being prosecuted for accusations that we're seeing actual proof of. Like, that's not him being down. That's him having to take accountability. Correct? It's just like the same way that people were sitting there like, well, Cassie stayed for so long, this, that, and the third. Like, half of y'all have never been in situations like that. So you can't even connect to the mental strain that it takes on you to stay in those situations like that. So it's just like, to me, it kind of like when I saw this, and like I know this is probably like everybody's like, Rebecca, that's such like a crazy example. It's kind of to me like when we see sexual assault in families, how like families will sit there and like keep saying like, oh, like he said he'll never do it again, but like we're gonna keep it a secret in the family, like this, that, and third. Like that's not who his character is. That was like a chain. Like, families want you to keep that dynamic, to keep that secret, to be like, oh, this is never going to happen again. But it's just like, you're the one who's impacted. Your life has changed forever because of the choice that this person has made. Right. So to me, it's just like, you can sit there and say that he was a changed man to you. He showed you this, he showed you that. Like, yes, he may have showed you so many different opportunities, this, that, and the third. But it's just like, you're talking about I'm loyal. There's a difference between being loyal and just feeling like you're just like, I don't care and I'm obligated to the opportunities that were provided to me. And then when everything was happening to him, you're talking about you losing out on relationships, you're losing out on business, you're losing out on this, you're losing out on that. But you wrote a character letter in support. It just, to me, I'm just like,
yeah. And the reality is that a lot of people operate in this way, in the sense of like, unless it personally affects me, I'm not moved, I'm not changed, and that's it, and that's all. And I think that is not a good way to continue to move through life, because it's like, let's say God forbid something happens to you, don't expect everybody and their mother to come out in support of you, because you only supported people when it had to do with you. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes just because something doesn't affect you immediately or directly doesn't mean that you can't show support.
and I want to use the example, like for me, like I used to be friends with this one girl who, like, she was a cool friend to me. Like if I needed something, like she was there for me. When I, like, if I wanted to cry, she was the shoulder to cry on. But then it came back to me that like one of her friends, like she started messing with that girl's boyfriend. And like when she came to me to tell me about it, like even though she was a good friend to me and she never did anything like that to me, the fact that's even in your character turned me off. And I couldn't deal with that. So like for me, right, and I know this is like a minuscule example compared to like sexual assault allegations and being with somebody who was convicted and stuff like that, like that's completely different. But I think like to me, like that's still on the same scale, because then it's like, yes, I can be loyal and I can acknowledge that she was a great friend to me, but morally I cannot stick beside that, because it's just like, also, if you are willing to do that to another, even though you never show no signs of that, signs of you doing that to me, I can't rock with that. And I had to let her go. And I let her know, I'm like, listen, like, you're a cool person. Like, I'm not going to say that you doing that was like a moment of like that judges, like that determines your character. But to me, I don't rock with that. And like, because of that, I don't feel like you and I can align as a friend, like like in a friendship, because I just morally can't get down with that and accept that. But that's like Shayla said, that's just how I am personally. Like it had, mind you, that situation had nothing to do with me, but the fact that that's even in your character was enough to show me that I don't need to be in your life. I don't need to stand by you. I don't need to do none of that, because to me, I don't rock with that. But
No, I agree. To
that
each their
just
own.
okay, to each their own. Listen, is she happy? That's all that matters, I guess. Let us move into our sports corner. You got 24 seconds and it's starting right now. Bam, bam, wappa. I said, what am I saying? What? I was trying to say welcome, but it came out as like wappinga. What? Who is that? Am I having a stroke?
Well, no.
But yes, welcome to our sports corner. We're going to talk about some of the things that we've seen circulating in the sports space. Sometimes it's not even about the sport, but some people who were involved in the sports conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to do the first one, Shayla?
Yeah, so as we mentioned, the NCAA tournament, the NCAA tournament. No, don't put that on me. I'm just stuttering. No strokes here. Like we mentioned in prior episodes, the NCAA tournament is underway. I'm rooting for UConn. We made it to the Sweet 16, so shout out to the girls.
First of all, I watched the UConn women play, right? Girl, I went to go do laundry, actually. Did laundry, came back up. Girl, why is the score like 12-45? I said,
They all gas, no breaks.
even LSU, I had took a short nap. I woke up 30 minutes later, the score up by 45. I said, is this what the games is usually like? What is this?
No. I think like now, like Sweet 16 and on is when the fun begins, because the first rounds is like the seeds that just barely made it, like they playing against each other. Now, like in the Sweet 16 is like teams that are actually like equivalent with each other or have a chance are playing against each other. But
for the men's NCAA, we did see the one upset where Florida, who had won last year, they lost to a number 8 seed, and I said, "Hey, baby,
we always love a Cinderella story, as long as it's on my team."
I don't think there's much Cinderella stories anymore because of NIH deals, NIH,
NIH, girl, what deals are those?
Girl, it's the stroke. Sorry.
Stop saying that. Nobody's suffering strokes. Oh my God. She throwing that word out like it's not an actual thing.
I'm sorry. I'm knocking on wood. God forbid.
Yes, please do.
God know my heart.
No, back on track. So on that note, we're going to talk about the Maryland team, right? So a viral courtside moment between Brenda Freese, the head coach of the Maryland Terps. She was talking to, I'm going to butcher the player's name. I am sorry in advance. I am going to try my best, girl. Rooting for you. A viral courtside moment between Brenda Freese and Oluchi Okananwa during the NCAA tournament sparked major online debate, but both say it was misunderstood. The intense exchange where Freese got in the player's face and challenged her was actually intentional. It was like tough love. Do we have the video or no? Okay, let's just play the video.
This is just a short time ago.
I think for me, it's always been, a pulse that I've been able to have with individuals and players, and we do have to at time have to have those tough conversations. You can't have them without a relationship. You've got to be able to have that. The best of the best, the elite of the elite, want to be coached hard. And at that moment, I kind of had watched Oluchi struggle, for within this tournament, and she's just too gifted. So, I kind of wanted to implore just how much belief I had in her, and just kind of challenge her. I know what a winner and competitor she is, and just challenge her. Do you want the moment? And I knew it was like give it a minute, get her back in, and you saw she went out, she got a bucket, she got a steal, and never looked back. And sometimes that's where you gotta know your players and the relationships that you have. And but like again, you can't have those conversations if you don't have a relationship with them.
So when I saw this, Rebecca and I talk about this often. When we were in college, we had extremely, I mean, to us, I like that. It's either you can handle tough love or tough criticism, or you just cannot. Being raised in a Caribbean household, that's just how my mom operates. I'm used to it. Will I cry? Yes, but I understand it. And so I think to Brenda's point, like, not everybody is coached the same. Some people prefer that tough love, that like, oh, everything's gonna be okay, does not work for everybody. And that's okay, because in that same breath, like we had, shout out to Professor Gant, Professor Efron, some people would be like, oh, they're so tough, like, or they would be scared to take their classes. Meanwhile, I'm like jumping up and down to make sure that I get into these classrooms, because are they tough? Yes. Do they expect a lot from you? Yes. But then when you are at the end of it all, the work speaks for itself. Like, you cannot baby everybody to success. And I think, especially in this generation, too many people are getting participation trophies and everything is just coddled and hugs and kisses. And the reality is that out in the real world, that's not how it operates. If you suck, you suck. If you need to be better, you need to be better. If you're trying to make it to the WNBA, it's a hard league. There's only but so many numbers, and you need to show up in the biggest of moments. I'm not saying bully the players, no, but tough love is the thing, and I think it's okay. And I'm glad that she got a chance to you know, speak on it, because people will see that and be like, oh, why are you getting in so and so's face, and this is not right, and this is not this. Maybe don't get too close to my face, I will say that.
No,
But other than that, yes, tough love.
no, honestly, when I saw that video, when it first started circulating, like, to Shayla's point, the first thing I thought about was Professor Efron. I will never forget this day. And I tell anybody like who, went to Montclair State or anything like that, like I tell them about this one time where I was like, I'm the type of person, I will like procrastinate. I will slack off. And then it's just like, I'm thinking I'm getting over on people. Like, people aren't noticing. There was one day I walked into Professor Efron's class, and I literally sat down, and it was like regarding a project that I had to do, but I was procrastinating. I was slacking. He wanted to see like a script, and I was playing like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna get you the script. I'm thinking he not noticing. I'm like, you got 110 students. You not worried about me. When I sat down in his office, this man looked at me dead in my face and said, so success doesn't mean anything to you? Do you just not want to be successful in life? And I was like, what do you mean? He's just like, you think I don't notice? You have so much talent, and yet you choose to continue to fail. And I said, baby, when I tell you, I walked outside of that classroom, got on the computer, the script was done in 20 minutes.
But I gasped. Let's see if we got a gas sound in here. Let me see. Dang. I don't. Heartbeat. This was Rebecca's heart.
Girl, palpitations. I was like, when he said that to me, mind you, it was like a long dramatic pause. He's like, do you not want success in life? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, sir, I'm a junior. I still got another year to think about life, you know? But then, like, once he said that, when I tell you gas, no brakes, like, I was on 10. Like, I'm like, the fact that he could have easily just been like, you know, I see that you didn't send the script, but the way, like, obviously, I just told y'all a shorter version of the conversation, but he went more in depth with it, talked about how talented he sees that I can be. He told me this, like, all in that span of like that 10-minute conversation, told me how much he sees from me and that I'm the reason why I will not succeed, that I will be my only obstacle. And the way he was saying it, it wasn't like, oh, you're going to be your,
He
no.
gathered you.
Yeah,
and guess what? The results were there.
Yoked me up. And then we went through my script. He told me what I needed to change. And he said, and that's the effort that I see in you and you need to see for yourself. And it's just like, when I saw that coach talking to the player like that, to me, I'm like, that is what some of y'all need. Being coddled is going to get you nowhere in life, but make you feel like you need a safety blanket. And to the people who are like, well, she didn't have to talk to the girl like that. How many coworkers do you have that you see don't like effectively do their work every single day, and they need to be babysat, to be coddled, to be told good job, do this, every single day, and you're just like, dag, like, are you an adult or are you not an adult? It's people like that who we will sit, that's who coddling creates. Those type of people, those type of employees, those type of coworkers that you hate to deal with because you feel like, dag, like you can't do nothing without getting some type of like being coddled, or me being like, oh, you're doing so great. I know you made that mistake, but no, you made the mistake. Now fix it. And to your point, Shayla, honestly, I have a thing about people's breath being in my face. So
don't get too close to me.
Yeah, I don't play that, but like I respected it, honestly.
No, 1,000%. I'm all in on that. The same Professor Efron. I remember one time he made me cry, honey, but I was crying because one thing about me, I cry about everything, but I couldn't even be mad because he was so right. You know what I mean? Like, he was so right. And even now being in the industry, I'm so grateful. Like, sometimes I would go to his office to ask questions and he would be like, figure it out. And now I remember when I first got hired at like my first big girl job, it very much gave figure it out. But because I was already equipped with that figure it out gene from college, I was like, don't get me wrong, I was a little bit like, but I knew, I'm like, no, Shayla girl, you got this. You've done this before. So the coddling everybody, I know that's real common for us.
You know, everybody is different. Some people are more receptive to certain things than others. Like, if the coach was talking to me like that, it would be receptive for me. I'd be like, you know what, you're absolutely right. I can do 1,000% better. You see it, I can do it. I know some people who are on the more delicate scale, and you know, those type of things wouldn't work. Like Shayla and I are saying, we use the examples of like Professor Efron, Professor Gant. Professor Gant used to chew me up.
He said, I guess when I would like speak, because one of the years I was like a host for our new show, and we also did some sort of special immigration special, and he was like, open your mouth. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, when I speak, I don't like enunciate the words. And I was just like, and now every time I speak, I'm like, I need to, and some people would take that as like but to Rebecca's point, that's not the way that everybody likes to be treated or talked to. I'm not saying bully your students, absolutely not. That's not what I'm co-signing. And the player did say, like, no, I like tough love. This is how I like to be coached. So Brenda was just coaching her player as the player likes to be coached. Like, everybody knows what their triggers are, right? Like, what makes someone go off. And at that point, they're like, girl, we losing to North Carolina. We need you. Like, this is your time. Is now.
I also just want to say, you also, like, after coaching people for a while or being around people for a while, you learn the personality types of the people that you have, right? So the way that, even like in friendships, the way that I would talk to Shayla isn't the way I would talk to another friend, because I know the personality types and I know how they are going to receive things and which ways to say certain things to make them more receptive to what I'm suggesting or what I would like to be done, right? So the next thing we are going to talk about, right, we're going to switch over to the NFL front, and we're going to talk about Florida. I know why we talk about Florida and the NFL, baby. Let me tell you. Okay, so Florida's Attorney General is threatening legal action against the NFL over the Rooney Rule. over its Rooney Rule, calling it an illegal race-based hiring practice, right? So he has argued that the Rooney Rule, which requires teams to interview minority candidates for coaching and executive roles, violates Florida's law by factoring race into hiring decisions. He has asked the commissioner of the NFL to suspend the rule by May 1st or face possible enforcement actions, particularly affecting Florida's teams. The Rooney Rule, introduced in 2003 to address low minority representation in leadership, has since expanded to include more positions and broader diversity requirements. The controversy comes after ongoing concerns about diversity in the league. Despite a majority Black player base, the number of Black head coaches remains low and has declined in recent years. So I wanted to play the clip that he had posted on X really quickly.
I'm Attorney General James Uthmeier. Next week, the NFL's annual league meeting begins in Phoenix, Arizona, and the NFL draft is only a month away. Ahead of the annual meeting, my office is sending a letter to the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell regarding the league's hiring practices. Specifically, the use of the so-called Rooney Rule, which requires NFL teams to interview candidates based on race. The NFL's use of the Rooney Rule violates Florida law by requiring race-based considerations in hiring. Florida law is clear. Hiring decisions cannot be based on race, and the Rooney Rule mandates race-based interviews and incentivizes race-based decisions. That's discrimination. We're demanding the NFL suspend the Rooney Rule, and failure to do so may result in enforcement actions against the league for race-based discrimination. NFL teams and their fans don't care about the race of the coaching staff. They want a merit-based system that gives their team the best chance to win. Thank you.
This whole conversation always pisses me off because why do people think that when any of these rules are in place, it does not mean that they're just going to put, oh, you Black, come on in, you're going to be the head coach. Oh, you Black, come on in. Oh, you Latino, come on in. The merit has to be there. Like, what? Oh, race does not matter. How are you going to tell me? Like, I just find it so funny how people are triggered from just us maybe having the opportunity to be in the room. Like, if you got it like that, why are you so pressed about me having an opportunity? Like, the reality is I feel like a majority of industries are like this. Like, you get to places by who you know. Everybody can go to college. Well, not everybody, but you know what I mean? Like, we all can get the degrees. You know what I mean? But then we don't all know people that know people that know people. You know what I mean? You can't just be a head coach. Oh, hey, so-and-so, I just signed an application. No. Most white people, not most, but I don't even know how to say this because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, but it's like minorities are not as connected to all of these people that are in high places, right? So a lot of times that is the reason why we don't get as many opportunities as other people or as our white constituents, because the white constituents do know somebody that knows somebody. Oh, my aunt, uncle, this girl. I'll speak for me. Like, I'm first generation. I didn't know nobody in this industry. I couldn't just tell my aunt, oh, my aunt works in so-and-so place and I just applied to that. Can you hook me up? There's no hooking up. So this whole thing just triggers me when people think that anything that is made to help professional people that have all the qualifications, these things are meant to help qualified individuals, minorities, people of color that are qualified, the merits are there, get to these rooms. Nobody's just grabbing Black people off the streets and just putting them in a leadership position. That's not what it is.
And I think one of the things, like, there's many things that I want to highlight, but one of the things that I mainly want to highlight is that we as a society make a lot of things that shouldn't be an issue or should seem like a commonality. We make it an issue. The Rooney Rule literally specifies to allow people to interview for these positions. You have to bring these people in for interviews, not hire, interview, speak to them, see if they would be capable for said positions, to see if the merit that y'all like to use is actually there. This is not saying, oh, because of this rule, you have to have this amount of people on staff, or you have to do this, you have to do that. No, it's to give an opportunity to people who are outside of the majority, an opportunity to have those chances to be in those spaces of leadership.
And also, it's like, can I put the Uno reverse card? Because how many people do we know, white people, that are in roles that they do not have the merit for? So can I carry around the Ronnie Uno reverse on y'all? Because if we want to really be so real, because people be so pressed about merits and this and that, I know a lot of people that are in very high places that I'm like, girl, how you get there? Because I'm doing your job, your job, your job, and your job put together. What's going on?
Matter of
What's
fact, you
tea?
coming to me to ask me how to do it.
But
Okay.
they only care about it when it's minorities. God forbid we get into places, they are triggered. They are so scared that we are so qualified. Like, we not like y'all. So it's like, don't think because I'm in a leadership position, I'm just going to remove y'all. Like, I don't know what fantasy they got going on, but
the thing is, the thing that bothers me is that this is such a non-issue, because even at the current moment, there are only 3 Black head coaches in the whole entire NFL.
with the rule. With
For
the
something
rule.
that was introduced in 2003, we are in 2026. And you think that 3 Black coaches are that impactful to the NFL for this to be a potential lawsuit? Are we not talking about how we trying to send troops to Iran? Like, are we not talking about that? Are we not talking about how TSA hasn't gotten paid in how many days since the shutdown? Like, there are so many things to be pressed and bothered by, that the fact that the NFL has 3 Black head coaches, and that the Rooney Rule means that you would just have to interview people who are outside of the majority race for these opportunities. Like, I don't understand how that is a bother, how that is a problem. I don't understand that, like, that logic. And the fact that we're sitting here talking about like, why do y'all, I don't understand why people automatically assume, like, to go off based off of merit, that merit automatically associates to white people. Because to me, I've met a lot of white people where I asked them, like, are you sure we both graduated with the same degree?
You got the merit? Where is the merit? What merit? What's the merit? Like,
do y'all even know what the word merit means?
Spell it. Like,
Okay.
girl. Anyways, it's just so triggering. And again, it's laughable how white people are so scared about minorities just getting into rooms. Like, just my presence trigger you like that? That's crazy.
Maybe I didn't know I had it like that. Shoot, maybe I
But
should speak a little more.
Jesus. Anyways, if you made it this far, comment the judge thing for Mr. Attorney General. What's his name? For James. Girl, we just gonna call him James.
I think he is.
Yeah. Comment the little judge thing for Mr. James there, because baby, focus on the real issues. This rule is, if anything, we need a better Ronnie Rule, because clearly it's not working. But anyways,
to Rondarius, maybe.
Right, period. That'll really trigger them. If you made it this far, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms at Too Much SB. And we'll see you guys next Friday.
Bye, y'all.